Welcome to the Throw Pillow, a pre recorded segment of the Conversation Chair where we focus on one topic, or at least we try. I am Danny, the crotchety crocheter.
I am Artemis the Fae, as usual, and that's Colette.
Hi, Colette. And today's topic, we are talking about Am I the Asshole stories from Reddit,
Yes.
specifically related to cruises.
So I have compiled a list of stories. I went through and looked for stories that seemed like they were talking about cruises. I have really only read the title. I did not really read into the stories whatsoever. So I will be learning these things with you. So I have the list here in a Google Keep file. Nobody judge anything else that I have in my Google Keep that you can see the background. So, Mother, you look at this list, and if you see a name that sticks out for you, let me know.
Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can read it. I'm sorry, I can't read that, my dear.
No, it's still too small? Okay. I'll
Yep.
read them out to you and you tell me which one you want. So let me put us back to big mode and I'll read them out to you and you tell me which one you want. So I have, am I the asshole for not wanting to go on a cruise for a week? Am I the asshole for not wanting to go on a family cruise, dot, 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 with my ex-husband, which is absolutely how they wrote that. Am I the asshole for paying for my son's entitled GF to come on a cruise with us instead of their cousin? Am I the asshole for exercising on a bachelorette cruise? Am I the asshole for being upset that my in-laws booked our entire family on a cruise during my
Okay.
birthday without
Okay,
asking me?
wait, you can stop. The exercising on a bachelorette cruise? I want to hear that one.
Okay, I'll pull it up. For anyone who's not familiar with Am I the Asshole, let's see. For exercising. For anybody who's not familiar with Am I the Asshole posts, someone basically asks a question, they pose the scenario, ask if they're the asshole, and people in the comments vote. So on Reddit, I can see what the people have voted this person, but I'm not going to tell you that. We will
Okay.
decide on ourselves, and then I'll tell you what the people have voted.
Okay.
So ooh, I have to enlarge this for myself. Oh my goodness, it's so small even on my TV. I was not prepared. Okay. I, 28F, went on a 3-day bachelorette cruise celebrating my best friend, 28F, the bride to be last week. We cruised to the Bahamas as a group of 4, me, the bride, and 2 other bridesmaids, 28F and 30F, splitting 2 connecting cabins. We were all friends in college, so we get along nicely together. My best friend, the bride, is a beautiful woman. However, she doesn't feel that way now that she's put on some weight in the years since we graduated college. I've seen her try to start healthy habits like joining a local Pilates club and eating healthier, but nothing seems to stick with her. Her mom puts pressure on her to lose weight for the wedding. She was stick thin in college. And when this topic pops up, I am supportive of the beauty she is right now. I would say, though, that I do constantly maintain a fairly healthy lifestyle. I'm a runner, I exercise on my off days, and I try my best to eat healthy. When we all arrived on the cruise ship, things were going well. We unpacked, took some pictures, hit the pool, the classic cruise itinerary. The night the bride and the other bride, that night, the bride and other bridesmaids got pretty wasted. I don't drink too much because I don't like the way alcohol makes me feel. So the next morning, when everyone was sleeping off their hangovers, I quietly got dressed and went to the gym. When I came back, the girls were stirring awake and getting ready for breakfast. The bride made a comment about my trip to the gym, something along the lines of, I can't imagine exercising on vacation. I laughed it off and didn't think too much of it until we got breakfast. I picked up regular foods for me: eggs, whole grain toast, and fruit. I didn't even think about what everyone else is eating until another bridesmaid commented to me, do you even eat sugar? The girls had fun cruise food, waffles, donuts, whatever. That day
Hmm.
we had fun in Nassau. We've been to Nassau.
We
That,
have.
that day we had fun in Nassau, and I tried my best to have a typical, quote, typical cruise dinner to blend in. The morning before we were supposed to disembark, I woke up early before any of the girls got up and quietly made my way to the gym one last time. When I came
Hmm.
back, the bride was in the shower and I was confronted by the other 2 bridesmaids. They let me know that my exercising and healthy eating made the bride really insecure and asked me to be more sensitive during the wedding. I apologized and agreed in the moment, but can't help stewing over the fact that I don't think I did anything wrong. Am I the asshole? I don't think she is.
No, no. I don't think she is. And to be honest, as I'm thinking about it, I am not a fit person. We both
Mhm.
know that I am not a fit person.
Mhm.
And even I am tempted to eat healthier when I'm on a cruise
Yeah.
and go to the gym or do a little bit of walking simply because it's so much more convenient for me when for those who are watching the video, I do have some chronic health issues, and so I don't like to stand in the kitchen cooking or whatever because it takes a lot of energy for me. On a cruise, all that stuff is prepared for
So
me.
you've got
So
this extra energy
if
that you can use for
somebody
something
is
else.
if somebody is already, not only that, but if somebody is already going to chop the fruit for me and cook the vegetables for me, I'm more likely to eat them than if I have to go in the kitchen and do all that stuff myself.
Yes.
And
Also,
same thing with exercising. It's like, I don't have anything else to do, and exercise takes a lot out of me. But if I can exercise and then go collapse in a deck chair for hours because I have
yes,
nothing else to do, then I might be more likely to exercise. Whereas in your daily life,
you have so many
you
things you have to
you
do.
have so many things you have to do that it's like, well, I'm afraid. I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I'm afraid if I exercise, it may take so much out of me that then I can't get up and go do the other things I got to do. So let me
Mhm.
do those other things first.
Yeah. Also, if they're friends, so she knows that this is how her friend is, the bride. The
Uh-huh.
bride knows that this is how her friend is. So why is she mad that the poster is eating the foods that she normally eats and doing the
Mhm.
things that she normally does? Like, yes, this is a
I
vacation, but this is how she handles her vacation.
but I think it's because it's in her face.
She
Like,
snuck out to work out while everyone was asleep.
that's true. That's true. But then when she went to dinner, like she didn't indulge, and when she went to breakfast, she didn't indulge in the waffles and all that other kind of stuff. She's eating what looks to them like dry toast and fruit. And
Yeah.
so it's like, what are you trying to make me feel bad for eating this waffle? But again, that's their problem that they feel bad when they see her eating stuff because I don't feel
Exactly.
bad when I see other people because we've gone on cruises for those who are watching, we go on a family cruise every year and we've done this for the last what, 15 years?
Something like that.
We go on a family cruise every year. And some years it's just family and some years it's like 40 people.
Yes.
Okay, and we all try to sit together and eat our meals together. Even if we do different things during the day, we try to have at least one meal a day together. And
And
so we see
everybody
what
has
everybody else
different
is eating.
dietary
And
stuff.
we've gone on cruises with people who are vegetarians, so they don't touch any of the meat. We've gone on cruises with people who don't eat sugar.
Mhm.
So I mean, we've gone on cruises with people who don't eat, they eat meat, but they don't eat pork. I don't care what y'all are eating. I'm eating what I'm gonna eat.
And
They make
from
fun of me because I get that what is it, that fruit soup every
the
year, and
strawberry, yeah, the
yeah,
frozen,
and
the cold strawberry
I'm the
soup,
only one who ever gets it.
because it's like eating
Everybody
melted
looks
ice cream.
and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. It's like liquid yogurt in a bowl, really.
Yogurt doesn't
But
need to be liquid.
I'm the only one who ever gets it, and they they look at me like I'm crazy. But I keep getting it, and I don't care.
But also, it sounds like the poster wasn't like, because I would definitely understand if the bride got a waffle, the poster got toast and fruit, and was like, "Oh, are you sure you want to eat that waffle?" But it sounds like the poster is just like, "Hey, so what do you think we're gonna do today?" And just eating their food.
Uh
Like,
huh.
it's one thing if they're making comments about it, but it's like
But they already know, the OP said that they already know that the bride's mother is
it's
giving
on
her a
top of
hard
her.
time.
Yeah,
So they're not getting on her because the bride's mother is already taking care of that.
exactly. So what I like, that's on them. What do you think the Redditors voted this? Do you think they voted the asshole or not the asshole?
I would say not the asshole.
Correct. They voted not the asshole. Okay, so I will take that out of the Google Keep and
By the
we
way,
will
though while she's doing that, I am
winding up yarn.
winding up yarn. I have a whole pile of a yarn mess that somehow tangled itself up. I'm sure I did not put it away tangled like that, but it got tangled.
It yarn will find
And
a way.
And so I am untangling it so I can use it in a scrap blanket. Besides which, I can't, even though we are talking and filming a video, that is not enough for my fidgety hands. So I am doing something with my hands while we were talking.
Okay, I will go through these again. I'll start from the bottom of the list and read up this time since we heard a lot of them at the top. So, am I the asshole for not going on my sister's cruise wedding? Am I the asshole for telling my sister I don't want her on my birthday cruise? Am I the asshole for sleeping with my mother instead of my husband on a cruise, like sleeping arrangements?
Okay, okay, stop right there.
That
Go
one?
ahead. That one right
I was
there.
hoping you chose that one because I also wanted to know what the heck is going on there.
That one right
There we
there.
go. Okay. Am I the asshole for sleeping with my mother instead of my husband on a cruise? The first line is, "This isn't sexual. It's about sleeping arrangements. Sorry for the unintentional clickbait," which I knew that that's what it was, but I still
Yeah.
want to see what's going on. So, my husband, his parents, his brother's fiance, and my mother all went on a cruise together recently. My husband's parents really wanted the cruise to happen. We got a 2-bedroom suite. My husband's parents paid for 90% of the room and for everyone to have the non alcoholic drink packages because they wanted to, I guess.
Hmm.
I'm not saying, oh, they wanted to, I guess. I'm not saying no, is what they said. Um,
Uh-huh.
my mother had just lost her husband, my father, and while she was finally free, she could use a fun trip. So as a Christmas gift to her and to not make her a burden on my husband's parents, we paid for what would be her portion of the room, about $1,000. Not bad at
Hmm.
all. My husband's parents took one room. The and room two was going to be for the couples to trade off, but my mother is old and turns in fairly early and has back issues, so we gave her the second room. This put all four young ones in the living room. There were enough beds, but zero privacy. I had the
Hmm.
worst time trying to sleep, and lack of it combined with how much energy a cruise demanded was getting to me. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law were always snoring and making noise. The boat noises were intense, and the Pullman bed was too thin. My mother offered for me to share her room with her, and it was an easy choice. I love my husband, but it's not like we were able to have sex or even cuddle. And I can't
Hmm.
exactly enjoy a cruise when I'm ready to pass out. I
Hmm.
was able to be fun and happy for the remaining 5 days of the trip, and I think we all had a great time. Now I'm hearing that it's a big problem that I didn't share a room with my husband and two other people, mind, and that only a child would choose to share a bed with their mother over a spouse.
Okay.
I don't think I did anything wrong, but I'll accept criticism. What do you think?
Okay. Who is she hearing this from?
Right? She
Is
must
what
have
I'm wondering.
they must have been talking some smack and then the husband is saying it, or maybe they were talking smack and she heard it from another like family member that somebody was talking smack about her. Or maybe I don't
Does
know.
the husband care? That's the
That's
only
what I'm
thing that's the
saying.
issue. Does the husband care?
Because when I started reading it initially, I thought, oh, everybody else is going to be mad because she got to sleep in a bed and we had to sleep in the living room. But it
Uh huh.
sounds like whoever these mythical they are that are
Uh
upset
huh.
about this, they're upset that she did not share her cruise bed with her husband, which is
But
wild because it
you're showing respect for an elder.
exactly. It sounds like they are from reading it. It sounds like they are mad that she didn't sleep in the living room, which she couldn't sleep in the living room. She tried sleeping in the living room and got no sleep.
Uh huh.
So
So it sounds like they are deferring the issue because it sounds like they're saying you should have been a grown woman and slept with your husband. But translation, they were like, we had to sleep on these hard ass beds, and you got to sleep in a real bed, and we're pissed.
yeah, but that's if that's who's saying it because I she doesn't say who is saying that it's a problem. So is it the people who slept in the living room saying that it's a problem and she's hearing rumors later about them talking about her, or is it she like went to the office and was like, yes, we got back from the cruise, this is what we did, and somebody at work around the water cooler or whatever is like, oh,
Uh huh.
you didn't sleep with your husband, freaking weirdo.
What is
Like,
it down?
who is saying it?
Is it down in the comments? Because
Oh, let me see.
sometimes the OP will add stuff if commenters ask down in the
Um,
comments. But while you're looking for that, I will say I if it's just the family members, they need to, cool their jets because a lot in the situation that they're in, nobody's having sex anyway, as the I mean,
Mhm.
I hate to be graphic with my own child, but nobody's having sex anyway. So it doesn't matter if you sleep with your husband.
Yeah.
And you have plenty of time. It's not like we're talking about, bed divorce like we talked about last week on the live stream.
Ooh, so everybody in the comments are definitely reading this a different way. Hang on. I found one that looks a little
Okay.
different. Okay. So what everyone else is what it looks like everyone else is saying, at least from the first couple comments, is people are saying that she is the asshole because her in-laws wanted this family trip. She imposed and brought her mother, but didn't pay enough for her to have her own room. Like, didn't pay enough for her. She paid the $1,000 for her to be on the boat, but didn't pay enough for her to have another room. So then begged for her mom to be in the room. So she's
Mhm.
like causing all these obstacles for someone else's vacation, begged for her mom to be in the other room. And then someone else is like, and then took advantage of that and used that room so that she could sleep in the room as well.
Mhm.
Because originally it was supposed to be for the couples to trade off. So
So
the
one night, one couple would sleep in it, and the other couple sleep in the living room, and then
yes,
they
and
switch
trading off.
off.
And so she, from their perspective, took advantage of the fact that she begged for her mother to be in that room and then got to sleep in the bed for the whole 5 days.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of what I was saying, is that they're complaining about her not sleeping with her husband when in reality they're pissed about the fact
yeah.
that they had to sleep in the living room on those hard beds.
Let me read this comment. I would have voted not the asshole too, but after reading the comments, I've gotten a much different perspective. I didn't even think of some of the things that people are pointing out, like inviting her mother on a trip that her in-laws paid 90% of, or how she could
Yeah,
have gotten her own room. I guess my brain forgot where the couples were supposed to be switching out. I guess I originally focused on the fact that she slept with her mom and not her husband, missing the broader details. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's what you and I were missing as well, is that
yeah,
she slid her mom in and then said, "Yeah, this is my room now as well." As like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's yeah. Yeah, when you look at it that way, because the way the thing is worded, I slept with my mother instead of my husband, that makes you think that that's what it's about. But
yeah,
yeah, it does look like a whole different thing of the way the in-laws paid for it. Everybody would have more or less gotten a good sleep.
hmm,
But now, because of her mother being there and she's saying she couldn't sleep in the living room. Well, I bet the rest of them couldn't sleep either. If the bed was uncomfortable to her in the living room,
exactly,
it was probably uncomfortable to everybody else too.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. So I, I don't know how I vote on this
I mean,
because,
based on the way she worded it, no, she's not an
yeah,
asshole for sleeping with her mother. Although even there, I'm kind of like, because that's you getting out of sleeping in the living room,
yeah,
which was the agreed arrangement, you know. But also, if the in-laws did not want the
her
mother
on the
to be
vacation,
there,
they could have
since
said
they're
something.
the one paying for it, they could have said, "We don't have room for her."
Yeah, because I don't know. Because there were a couple people in the comments saying that just because you paid for her to be on the boat, it's irrelevant because you didn't pay for any of the rooms. Like
Mhm.
the in-laws paid for the room, so you paying for
But
her to
but
get onto the boat doesn't
also,
mean anything.
$1,000 for a room, knowing what we pay for on our
Yeah, what
cruises,
boat are they
thousand
on?
thousand dollars for a room, she could have paid for her and her husband
Mm-hmm. To
because
have
we've
another room.
to have another room, and her mother, because we have your father and I have shared a room with your brother, the
Yes.
three of us
Yes.
in a cabin. You could have paid that.
Exactly. Depending on what cruise line they're on.
Yeah. So it's
I think I'm leaning with she is the asshole.
yeah, because I mean, I feel sorry for the mother, lost her husband and all that other stuff.
Yeah, the
Although
mother's
even
not the asshole in this situation. I
or
feel like the
even
mother is scot free.
or even the way, but even the way the daughter worded it was like she's lost her husband, so now she's free. Like, you don't say that about
Yeah.
somebody who died. That sounds like you didn't want to be with him to
Yeah.
begin with.
My mother had lost her husband, my father, and while she was finally free, she could use a fun trip. So, yeah, it sounds like it was not a good relationship.
So it's not like, oh, she's depressed because the love of her life died. It's
Yeah.
like, phew, we're done with him now.
Also, we paid what would be her portion of the room, about $1,000. Not bad at all. If paying $1,000 is not bad for you, you maybe could have shelled out a bit more.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I was writing something like this, I would say we paid for her portion, what would have been her portion, about $1,000. We made it happen, or we saved up.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Uh-huh.
$1,000 not bad at all. $1,000 is most of my rent.
Yeah. So if $1,000 isn't that bad to you, then maybe you could have come up with a little bit more and, and let her
Another room.
have a cabin to herself, or at the very least, like I said, the in-laws and the other couple could share that suite, and y'all can hang out in the suite if you want to when y'all
Yeah.
are. Although when we go on cruises, we're hardly ever in the cabin,
Yeah.
but whatever.
That's what I'm wondering, like, what boat are they on that they have a suite where they've got a living room? Do they have
So
those on Carnival?
they do.
Oh, I've
They
never
do.
seen them.
Yeah, because we don't have that kind of money. Uh, but if that's because if the in-laws paid for that suite,
Yeah.
then and you had enough money, you could have added another $500 and had another room for you and your mother and your husband to be in.
Mhm.
Since you're
Exactly.
not having sex on this cruise anyway,
Exactly.
the three of
And
y'all could
then
be in the same room.
the sister-in-law and brother-in-law could have slept in the one room. You could have slept in the other room, and y'all would have met at breakfast. It would have been fine
And everybody could have slept in a bed and not in a
on a
pull-out
pull-away couch.
couch
Yeah.
and
Okay.
been
Yeah.
happy.
I'm leaning towards she's the asshole, and everybody else also voted she's the asshole. So closing that one out. Let me read through
And
the
since we don't want
list.
this video to be too long, we're gonna pick like one more story.
Yeah, I think one more. I'm going to read from the top of the list. Let me read all the way through them this time, and then you pick
Okay.
which one you want. Okay.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to go on a cruise for a week? Am I the asshole for not wanting to go on a family cruise with my ex husband? Am I the asshole for paying for my son's entitled GF to come on a cruise with us instead of their cousin? Am I the asshole for being upset that my in laws booked our entire family on a cruise during my birthday without asking me? Am I the asshole cruise copying my in laws? Don't know what that means. Am I the asshole for abandoning my parents at an island in the Caribbean so I could get back to our cruise in time? Am I the asshole for sleeping with my mother? We already did that one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister I don't want to go on her birthday? I don't want her on my birthday cruise. Sorry. Am I the asshole for not going on my sister's cruise wedding?
Mm. I'm leaning toward abandoning the parents.
I also was kind of wondering about that one. Let me go, and I'll hold on to these, and we can maybe look at some of these in another video. Abandoning my parents. There we go. Okay, this isn't a very long one, so unless we do a bunch of discussion, we can maybe squeeze in another one.
Okay.
Okay. Am I the asshole for abandoning my parents at an island in the Caribbean so I could get back to our cruise in time? I graduated from high school back in December. As a gift, my parents got me a cruise. It was also for my 18th birthday. It was also a family vacation. We usually stay at all inclusive resorts, but I have always wanted to go on a cruise. I told my parents it was different and that if we went on excursions, we had to follow the schedule no matter what. Well, it was a week long cruise, and they would not head back to the ship when I said it was time to go. They were busy shopping and bargaining with the locals. I finally said that I was heading back to the ship. My mom waved me off. They missed the departure by a lot, like 45 minutes. They got a hold of me through WhatsApp. They wanted to know why I didn't get the boat to wait for them. I was I wanted to scream that they were not going to inconvenience 3,998 people because the two of them could not understand what a schedule was. They ended up having to fly to the next port from there, and it was expensive. They are pissed at me for leaving them behind. I don't know what I was supposed to do. They literally told me they knew what they were doing. I wish I had never asked for this. They are making me miserable because I left without them. This person is not the asshole. That is
Uh-uh.
their parents.
Because
You
because they are
said
grown ass adults.
exactly. Also, like they said, 4,000 people. You want us to stop the boat of 4,000 people so that you can buy a tchotchke? Come on.
And they tell you
So
during
many
all those
times,
briefings so many
over
times,
and over.
the ship will not wait for you.
It will not. Oh
Will
my
not wait
gosh.
for you.
That is honestly, if that had been done to me, I might excommunicate you. I would not speak with you again. I'd be like, so sorry, I have my apartment. This is enjoy your trip, whatever you think this is. That is wild. And being pissed at them for doing what they're supposed to and how is he supposed to stop the boat? Is he supposed to walk into the captain's office? Like, what is he as an 18-year-old child supposed to do?
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
wild.
But I have a feeling that there's going to be some people on Reddit who think that this 18-year-old is the asshole just for leaving their parents or not pushing harder to
Let me
get them to
see.
come on.
Just a brief scroll. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Um, this is the bit that baffles me. Even if the OP had tried or asked, I highly doubt the staff would even consider delaying the departure. No, they would not have,
Exactly. They would not have.
because that's not how that works. I expect they're just very embarrassed that an 18-year-old is smarter than them and are taking it out on them. Mm.
Yep.
Let's see. Scrolling through, yeah, I'm seeing not the asshole. They won't even wait for crew unless it's something they legally can't sail without. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
You will get left.
yeah. Most of it looks like everybody. I've not seen a single person that's saying like, "Wait, maybe you should have something, something." Yeah. Oh, our ship waited for us because my husband called them and told them I had been injured. We were at the local hospital and on our way. The ship waited about 45 minutes for us and met us with a wheelchair, a doctor, and a nurse with a blanket and a robe since I was still in my bikini. They wheeled me up and the ship left immediately. Like the ship pulled away from the dock the moment the walkway pulled up after my wheelchair was on board. I was
But
ever so
again,
thankful they waited. But
there's a
that's
wheelchair.
yeah, that's somebody being in the hospital. That's
That's
different.
not you shopping for a tchotchke and wanting them to wait for you.
Hmm. Also, you have hours at the port. You
Uh-huh.
couldn't find your tchotchke in hours? Like
Mm.
you have so long to be off the boat, especially if you leave right when they first start letting people off the boat. You have
Yeah.
so long to be off the boat. Yeah, that's not the asshole. That's wild. That's hilarious. Okay, it looks like we've got a little bit of time for one more. Let me read through. Or do
Okay.
you remember the name of one that you want?
You pick one
Okay.
this time.
I want to know what cruise copying by in-law is. I want to know what does that mean? What is cruise copying? What is going
Probably they just went on the same cruise that their in-laws went on and now the in-laws are pissed.
But why would you even be mad about that? Okay, I'm reading. My wife and I, cruise copying by the in laws. My wife and I booked a cruise for early next year with another married couple, close friends. The cruise is to celebrate the retirement of the wives, both in the same professional field. Recently, while at dinner with my wife's sister and her husband, with whom we spend time regularly, my wife joked about delaying retirement. I jokingly reminded her that we had booked the celebration cruise. My sister in law asked if we wanted company on the cruise. My wife replied that we were going with our friends with whom the in laws are acquainted. The brief expression on my sister in law's face told me that she was not pleased. Conversation ensued in which my wife shared details about our planned trip, opened the cruise line's app on her phone, and showed her sister, etc. Fast forward to a few weeks, my sister in law informs my wife that she intends to book the same cruise on the same dates as ours for her family, saying that we will not be traveling together and they will do their own thing. My wife stated that she thinks this will be awkward, which caused my sister-in-law law to become upset and state that any awkwardness is our problem, not hers. She acknowledged that even on a ship with thousands of people, we may see each other, but insists that it's not an issue. My sister in law states that she wants to go on this cruise because her birthday occurs during the week. The itinerary interests her, and the price is right. She stated in a text, "You did the legwork, I ran with the information." Going on this cruise, or any cruise, was not on my sister-in-law's radar before the conversation at dinner. The same cruise is offered each week, same price, not just ours. There are many cruises offered by multiple cruise lines in the same area. We booked this cruise to be with our friends for an occasion shared in common, and none of us plan to be with family. Based on prior cruises, we know we will bump into each other, and my wife and I will find it awkward, as I'm sure will our friends. I believe my sister-in-law should not book this cruise. This feels like punishing us. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, because even if you run into your sister-in-law, do you hate your sister-in-law that much?
maybe.
You haven't put anything in there. Because I mean, if you're at dinner with your sister-in-law and y'all are enjoying this dinner and
Mm-hmm.
having a good time and you stayed there long enough to show what you were doing on the cruise and everything, you obviously enjoy time with your sister-in-law. So why are you going to be mad that she's on the same cruise ship? Are you planning on dancing naked on top of a table and you don't want her to tell the rest of the family?
I I don't know. I'm leaning towards not the asshole because there are definitely like I don't know. There's definitely like jokes and ways that I hang out and things that I do with my friends that I
Yeah,
wouldn't do around my family. And
yeah,
so like the jokes and stuff that I tell with my D&D friends at D&D, I'm not going to say in front of Aunt Connie. Like it's not
that's true.
it's a different
That's
thing. So if
true.
I'm like out here joking with my friends and Aunt Connie walks up behind me, I'm not going to be super happy. Or if I was going on this trip with my friends and I wanted to wear, I don't know, what if I wanted to wear a slutty little top that shows my boobies and a skirt or something, and then
Hmm.
somebody walks up, like I and they're like, and then they go back and tell like mother-in-law, "Oh, did you see she was wearing this terrible?" Like I definitely understand if you're planning on being with a certain set of people and you're going to act a certain way, like it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It just may be
Yeah.
like not what you want the rest of the family to see. And the fact that her sister, because if her sister really wanted to go on a cruise, they could have done it another week, like the OP was saying. Like they
Or even because the sister-in-law was saying, well, this is my birthday week, so it lines up perfectly. Well, then, but there's, another cruise line.
exactly, because there
You
are
could
other
get,
cruise
you
lines
could
that
go,
you can find the same price and everything. Like what?
you go on another ship.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think this is.
I kind of get what you're saying of you don't act the same around
Mm,
certain family, around your family as you do around your friends. I do get that. But at the same time, I think they're protesting a little too much about, I mean, it's not ideal that
mm.
she's going to be on the ship, but it's not terrible.
There's also because we don't know this person, we don't know the sister in law, so like if you go on a cruise, you don't know anybody, you might run into them twice on the boat or something. 4,000
Hmm.
people are there. You might run
Hmm.
into them twice on the boat. But you don't know if your sister in law isn't going to hunt you down, find your room number, make sure you have dinner together, go to all the same shows. Like, you don't know that she is not going to force her way into your
Yeah.
itinerary,
Yeah.
because that's what I'm worried about, is that she might be, which it has not been expressed here, but she might, that would be a reason that I would be concerned, is if she's the kind of person who will force her way into your situation, even though she said she's going to do separate stuff, because she said she's
Yeah.
going to do separate stuff, but she also booked the exact same cruise as you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see. I guess the sister in law is the asshole. Okay.
Yeah, the Reddit voted the poster not the asshole, meaning that the sister-in-law is the asshole. So do we want to read any comments? I don't see. Let's see. Sister in law is playing passive aggressive games. Um, not the asshole. I understand. Not the asshole, but now both your wife and you learned a lesson. Info diet for the in laws until after the vacations. Ooh, yeah, sister in law is jealous. Um, Someone's asking them if it's
There's
possible
nothing
to
to
be.
be jealous of.
Yes,
Anybody
what
can
is?
go on a cruise. Cruises is fair.
Yeah, but they could have. She could have said like, "Hey, you want to go on a cruise? We'll plan a separate cruise to do with you." Like this is specifically for them to hang out with her friend because they're both retiring.
Hmm.
Like they clearly hang out with the sister in law. Like I don't know. It says regularly. We spend
Hmm.
yeah, they spend time regularly, so they see them fairly often, which means they like it's not like us where most of our family we only see like once a year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But that was that. Do you want to? Let's see. We're sitting at 35 minutes. You want to do another one?
Nah, I think we cut this short.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Do you want to say all of the wrap up things?
Do I want to say all the wrap up things?
I mean, I could say the things, but I don't know the things.
The things are like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you want more of this, hit the notification bell if you want to know when we go live on Wednesdays. That's all of the things.
That's it. If you have any differing opinions to what we said or anything to add on to what we said, leave a comment. We'll read it. We'll reply. We'll talk about it on our live stream on Wednesday, maybe. We'll
Maybe.
see. I think that's it. Everybody say bye, Colette.
Bye, Colette.